buddy. Conversation today is hallway permission. And what does that mean? Buddy. There we go. We got that muted. Hallway permission. What does it mean to get permission to help somebody out of their hallway? The challenge is most people, as they have conversations, most people, when they say they want to leave their hallway, they set a goal, right? Wouldn't that be true? Most people, when they want to leave their hallway, they set a goal. Now, you can either set a goal or you can have something highly emotional, highly challenging, and it forces you to leave your hallway, right? Lose your job, have to move, somebody passes away. These are huge. These are things that I don't know that we want to call them milestones, but they're definitely memory markers that in somebody's life, it really changes a lot of things about them. So there's ways that we can have, you get a diagnosis and all of a sudden you need to stop smoking. You need to start getting healthy. You need to fill in the blank. There's 1,001 things other than you setting a goal to leave the hallway. It's important to understand that when you set a goal, you are asking to leave your hallway. Sean, what are you talking about? Well, anytime you want something you don't have, could be a variety of things. You want something you don't have. Is there anything right now? I'm just going to ask you. You don't need to write it out. I want you to become aware. Is there something you want that you know that if you got it, that you're going to work towards it, your life would become easier. Your life would become better. Your life would become more enjoyable. Now, that's not saying you're not happy where you're at right now. What I'm asking is there something you want more of? More business, more money, more better health, less weight, better relationship? If there's something you want that you do not have, you are going to make a journey towards it. Yes or yes? And understanding that if you're going to make a journey towards that thing, now you've crossed a lot of hallways in your lifetime. You went from age 5 to age 6. Age 5 was a hallway. First grade was a hallway. Second grade was a hallway. And you left those. When somebody fails a grade, they have to repeat it, right? So they repeat the hallway. They repeat second grade. They repeat third grade. Those things we're kind of aware of. We know when somebody hasn't made it through that hallway that they're currently in. My question to you, and this is where all of the personal development books guide you, is for you to get very clear on where you're at. So how do you get permission to have that conversation? See, you start talking about hallways, AKA goals. You start talking about goals that people want. People want more money. That's an easy one to say. People want better health. Not everybody needs to lose weight. In our population here in the United States, about 80% of people are overweight. What is it? 40% are obese. So that's a pretty good target. That's a lot of people if you're trying to sell something. The challenge is that whatever you're about to sell, you're going to ask somebody to leave their hallway. And we call that identity. When you ask somebody to leave their hallway, whether it be through training, whether it be through a product, whether it be through activities, you're going to ask people to leave a hallway. Do you have permission Better yet, how many of you have ever had friends that you grew up with that wanted to sleep over or wanted you to go sleep over at their house, right? I don't know what they call it these days. We called it a sleepover. My cousin, Tommy Desati, he would want to come over. We lived on the farm. And so it was cool to come over and go climbing trees and go down by the river and do all these things, go fishing in the lake. And he would have to get permission. Now, it was a lot easier to get permission. It was a lot easier, or we figured out it was a lot easier to for him to leave his hallway, his home, if we did it together, right? We would go to his mom and she'd be, that's fine if it's okay with your mom, Sean, right? Did you check with Aunt Vicky? Right? That was mom's name, Vicky. And so we'd go ask mom. Well, did you ask Aunt Betty? That was Tommy's mom. I say all of this to say, who does your prospect need to get permission from to leave their hallway? Now, I ask it in a different way. I ask it in a way that's not asking for permission. I ask, who's going to be jealous of you leaving the hallway, of you arriving at your goal? These are psychological absolutes. I shouldn't say absolutes. These are psychological on target conversations that if you begin to have these are questions that people have never been asked. If you're not asking questions they've never been asked, everything they're about to hear is going to be something they already have an answer to. Nobody has an answer to join you in your business. They shouldn't have an answer to join you in your business. If they have an answer to join you in your business, if they've heard what your business is, then you're not giving them a chance to leave the hallway, because the reason they ask, is it one of those things, or how much does it cost, is because they've paid money to leave their hallway before and they failed at it and they don't want to waste their money again. And they blame the product, not the purchaser. So my question to you today is, how do you get permission? What is your process? Let me ask it this way. What is your process? How is strategy and how is human? What is the process you move somebody through for them to have permission enough permission, right? I can go, if I was in school, I could ask the teacher, can I go to the bathroom? Yes, you have permission to go to the bathroom. Can I leave school? No, you don't have permission for that. Well, why not? Because there's certain people have certain levels of permission they can grant. In the hallway, we talk about the guard at the end of the hallway that's guarding the door. The guard is not, the guard is only guarding the door. It's not keeping you from going through the door. It's only guarding the door to ensure your ability, your desire, your energy to want to go through it. The reason network marketing has such a powerful possibility for so many people is because the guard lets you go through the door. You are in a hallway on a Tuesday night where you go to a hotel and somebody inspires you, somebody invited you, somebody says, this is a great opportunity, and you check the boxes. Oh my gosh, this training helps me get smarter. This training helps me understand trading. This training helps me get healthier. It gives me a reason to share things with my friends of good things, of travel discounts, of a variety of things. List the things that the benefits your product has. List the benefits your service has. And somebody says, I want that. I want to leave the hallway. They want to leave who they are. And in an instant, the powerful profession of mentors leading mentors, MLM, kick somebody out of the hallway. in 45 minutes, in an hour, they can leave their hallway of not owning a business and instantly being in business. Now they're in a new hallway. They don't recognize it. So if you don't recognize it, do you start making assumptions? Have you asked anybody, do they have permission to stay in this new hallway? I bet you haven't. And because they don't stay in this new hallway, they revert back and they blame you for making them uncomfortable. And they come up with excuses to go back to their old hallway, their own personality, their own performance, their own productivity. And they say, I don't have time, I don't have money. It's simply because they haven't been able to ask for permission to leave their hallway. So, questions, comments, thoughts? What is your process to get somebody uncomfortable enough to leave the hallway, excited enough to leave the hallway, and then focused enough to stay in the hallway? That's all your job is. Your comp plan, if your comp plan makes them leave the hallway, that's a bad reason to leave a hallway. If your product ingredients cause them to leave the hallway, that's a bad reason to leave the hallway. It's an easy reason for them to go, doesn't work. So what is your process to get them to leave a hall? Imagine you were going into university and you walked into somebody's class and you saw somebody that you thought would be a great business partner for you. And you said, hey, listen, you're going to spend the next 4 years in college learning about how to create an income, learning about a skill or technique or tool that you're going to pay the next 4 years to learn how to do it, versus I could help you in the next 4 years understand how to begin to create an income immediately, and you learn the skills along the way. Are you okay with rapid income acceleration? Most people aren't. So what is your process to help somebody through that? That's my question for you this morning. And if you want to kick around some ideas on how to do that, I'll be happy to help. Questions, comments, thoughts? Hey, AJ, good morning or good afternoon from Serbia.
Hey, stranger.
Hey, buddy.
How's it going there,
Outstanding.
Bubba?
We've had some rain. We've had about
Oh, outstanding.
4 inches of rain in the last 3 days. So that's awesome. Not like Nepal.
Very.
If anybody's ever
What?
seen any of the videos about that's happened in Nepal, a glacier lake opened up and it's probably killed easily probably at least thousands and thousands of people. It's unbelievable if you see some of the videos. So just some prayers for the folks in Nepal and Tibet. Anyways, good morning, brother.
Yeah, go Nepal. Very difficult man to get a hold of. I think you would probably get a hold of the clandestine service CEO for the CIA quicker than this guy. But
Hey, it's consistent. It's been that way for 6 years.
probably longer. But for me personally, I've had an experience for about 6 years. A lot of stuff going on, and you talk about the process
Yeah.
of how to smack people out of their whole hallway. I did use this, might help anyone. Um, One of the things I was using before I even knew I was using it, and then after I met Sean and after he gave me his 2 cents on the topic, I realized I was doing that without realizing I was doing that. So it's the whole concept of setting the stage. in whatever you're doing. So the way I see it, the way I see MLM, it's just sales anyway. And when you get a prospect, it's a client, at least the way I see it, because you're selling them the story to get on board with whatever your particular product or service is, whether it's a travel or a Forex or whatever. I always saw that as just sales, like you're a salesperson and they're just a prospect. And setting the stage concept in the conversation, which I view as a any any other sales conversation you would have on a random Tuesday within your MLM thing, is very powerful. And the reason I say that is because even in personal development or whatever have you, in that particular conversation you're going to have with the prospect, setting the stage will do wonders for you. It'll move you further very easy. And that's the whole idea. So you won't get a lot of friction. Because I know this guy usually tells me, "No, I love you," right? Before he shits in my parade every time. But it is what it is. On the other note, the setting the stage thing, if you simply say to them what's going to happen and then proceed to do whatever you're going to do, it's going to be a lot less friction, man. Because people do not know, and I talked about this with Andrew last night. Matter of fact, for all of you in the dark, Andrew is one of my friends that we are doing this new sales academy business online. He's my partner, and he does currently work for a guy that does business consulting and coaching in Serbia. And to my um, what's the word I'm looking for? Um, it'll come to me. Anyway, I was so surprised that he would be able to scale this business to his current point because I would never think that people in Serbia, and so many people in Serbia for that matter, would pay that amount of money every month for him to coach them in their business. And those business owners coming from various industries uh, have problems and state they have problems with opening conversations with potential customers or partners, which means they don't know how to open up a conversation. And I think for all of you, this might be helpful. It helped me tremendously to learn and really digest this concept of setting the stage. Just tell people what's going to happen and then proceed to do whatever is going to happen. So tell them we're on a call today to do blah, blah, blah because of blah, blah, blah. I'll be asking you some questions because blah, blah, blah. And if at the end of the day, if we're a fit and if I think I can honestly help you, because I know Sean is a stickler for sincereness and genuineness, that's a word even. If they can really help you, I'm gonna make you an offer and you're gonna take it. And then guess what, man? When you start asking questions, they're gonna understand, okay, so this guy's asking me questions not because he's nosy or he's trying to be the Pink Panther or whatever. This guy's asking me questions because he wants to understand where I'm at so he can help me. And then at the end of the conversation, when you ask for the money, uh, most likely they're going to give you money without a lot of friction. They might still have some objections or whatever, but it's going to be a lot less friction, man. So this concept of setting the stage, I personally used and still use with myself and with conversing with other people, and it's really helping me a lot. What you think about that, Master?
So here's the great news. And here's the thing that's most valuable about what you said. Setting the stage isn't a skill that isn't taught. Setting the stage is a skill that people use no matter the language, no matter the product, no matter the technique to get people to do this thing, because setting the stage is what's required. It is a fundamental part of business that nobody really teaches. We call it prospecting. Well, And then we describe it as digging, as going to mine out the coal, going to find that vein of opportunity. And we get rid of all the, what they call in mining, overburden. If gold is here or coal is here, and this is all dirt and clay and rocks, they call this overburden. Meaning it's, we got to get rid of it. You got to go through it, unless you're going to do long wall tunneling, right? You're going to do surface mining, strip mining. You strip away all of the stuff that's out of the way. Well, that's true. And so what happens when we find out that people are strip mining? They're taking away, they're digging through 30 feet of clay and earth to get to the coal. There's environmentalists who complain about that. Well, in our business, in the business of personal business models, not personal development, personal business models, those environmentalists is social media. Everybody says they got a better way, an easier way. It's an easier way, and easier ways produce easy results. And easy results don't last. So the fact that you recognize that you were setting the stage, I can promise you this, anybody who has ever had a sale that has stuck, set the stage. And if we look at, then if we take it one more step back, so let's say you set the stage and we're in this circle, go out one ring, and what you did is you probably found somebody who's a lot like you, because you were able to use language that was a lot like you. And they understood the language that was a lot like you, and they go, oh my God, I'm a lot like you, you're a lot like me. We talk in network marketing, find people you want to walk the beaches of the world with. That means you want to be in the same hallway. You want to be in the same frequency, the same vibration. You want to have similar success. I can tell you, if that's what you're going to go for, you're only going to get about 25% of your conversions. You're only going to be able to help 25% of the marketplace, because the other 75% don't like the beach at all, which is why we struggle.
Oh, by the way,
yes,
I'll tell you all about it later. Provided the fact that I actually get a hold of you, but you might have to you might have to file digital harassment claims against me, because I will get a hold of you later on today, because it's long overdue, pal. Yeah. Anyway, I'm just gonna tell you this on the side note. So we were talking last night, me and Andrew. We had a 3-hour talk on the phone. We discussed the next steps in business, and we noticed the first mistakes that we made from first videos, which are going to be the worst one anyway.
Okay, so hang on.
Use that
pause
as
for just a second. I want pause for just a second. I want you to remember where you're going. I want everybody to hear what you just said. You did 17 videos, 19 videos, and you noticed the mistakes you made. Here's my question. Did you start the videos, the production of the 17 videos, knowing you were making a mistake?
No, I mean, we just
of course you did
whatever we could do,
And as perfect as a lot of people who see them say they are, a lot of the things, this is what I want everybody to understand is that you can't read a book about hydrology and understanding the buoyancy of water and understanding the slipstream of water and how to move effortlessly through it, aka swimming, until you get in the water. And what you just heard is such a powerful nugget that almost 99% of the people who go and do the thing never realize the thing they just did. Until you did the thing. You've talked about this business for 6 months, 4 years, whatever it is, until you did the videos and then reviewed, right? Inspect what you expect. You saw some places you could improve. How many of you record your presentations? The only reason they know that there was things they could improve because there were 17 videos at 19 videos. How many times do you record the things you're about to go do. And if you don't record them, how can you ever fix the thing, the reason that you are continually stuck? And I don't mean it has to be a Zoom, it could be just listening to the audio. That is such a powerful tool, and it will only work when you put it to work. You don't miss the subtleties. What were some of the things that you noticed that you did that you could improve on?
Actually, that's a two-parter. First part, answering your question directly. Just the format of the video itself. We've had several people, not even necessarily doing sales. We had several people that we know, some of them on the lower side of the IQ spectrum, some of them on the higher, right?
On the
Because we got
perfect
this friend of
IQ
ours, he
spectrum.
played football with us. Oh yeah, we got this friend of ours used to play football with us, nose tackle, Michael. Um, Andrew goes, you know what? I showed these videos to Michael because he is the closest thing we have to a 4-year-old that's an adult child. So, and he's not doing anything remotely near and close to sales. And the guy says, I understand what he's talking about. Like, I understand the message that he wants to convey in the video. And then we had people from sales and, so on and so forth, go through the video. So, some of them told us that the only thing they, well, kind of didn't like, which we interpreted as a mistake because they need to like it in order to, proceed with doing any business with us anyway. That was just the formatting of videos. The hooks could get better to kind of seize their attention for a little bit longer so that the body of the video can start and they can actually consume the value. Because if you don't get their attention, they're not going to get the value, then not going to get the value. So some of the mistakes we caught were obviously the format of the video, just the way we shoot the video itself. The hooks can get a lot better. And on the second parter of the answer, and this is critical. This is critical, okay? These first couple of videos that we've done, the first one, so the first 8 videos we've done, it was the first batch, it was the first shooting day. And I was fighting for my life, okay? I mean, after that, I was so tired. I felt as if my brain was mashed potatoes. I went to the lake and I just sat there in silence because I felt as if I was, not to get censored, but I felt as if I was sexually violated, okay, by a bunch of guys in prison. So it was crazy for me. And then we've had these certain people take a look at the videos and we asked them to be blunt and to be direct with their feedback. And they said the same thing. All of them said the same thing. So salespeople, non-salespeople, the people we know are freaking stupid. And then the people we know are actually like street smart or school smart or whatever, life smart. Various types of people looked at the video and they all said the same thing, which was, this is good. This is good stuff. So Andrew tells me this feedback, and I'm like, that's crazy because my ADA, addiction to approval, was, I mean, through the roof. I think if they did my blood work on that day, my cortisol and adrenaline and whatever have you would be like through the roof because on those videos, I was fighting for my life. At least that's the way I saw that. I saw myself as not good enough on those videos. And then people that looked at it said, it's great. I haven't heard anything like this ever in my life. Meaning other people that are our competition, for a lack of a better term, in Serbia that teach sales and sell sales, they don't know any of this. What they do is they look at the American pages and American influencers, they look at their videos, they translate them to Serbian, and then they do exactly the same thing. And then what we do is Andrew gives me a hook and I write it from the knowledge I got in my mind. So all of it is raw and every single video I actually write. I don't got a team of Hindus in Mumbai writing, stuff for me, ghost writing stuff for me. I actually write it all because I know it. And so it was incredible to witness that. And mind you, without knowing that feedback on the first 8 videos we got, the second batch of videos was already a lot better, which we realize now that we kind of corrected some of the mistakes in retrospect that we didn't even know were mistakes. We began to realize now that they're mistakes because of the feedback we got. But already the second batch of videos we shot already corrected some of those mistakes without us even, it just kind of felt natural that, okay, so we might want to do this. So we changed the format to a whiteboard standing format instead of me sitting down. We had some other things going on as well. And then we introduced some other shooting techniques as well. And so last night, amongst a lot of things we talked about that, and we were like, well, we corrected some stuff that we didn't even know was broken because it just felt natural to do it. And we were like, whoa, Eureka, man, what's going on? And then, like I said, obviously, we talked about many things, including we do have our theories that you must be in the Illuminati with the knowledge that you have about people and everybody else. So, I mean, we were thinking about either Illuminati or maybe the Freemason or whatever. But and then Andrew says, "Isn't his son's name Mason?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "There you go." I'm kidding, but one of the ideas I shared with him, and I'll leave you with this, everybody. As he is in the coaching business and whatever, I told him, one of the most important things that I learned from Sean regarding money and business and how it all works is he told me this years ago, and he goes, "What?" And I say, "Well, he told me that there's only 3 ways to make money in this world." And I said, "Okay." So the guy goes, "I'm going to explain this in farm boy fifth grade English." I'm like, "Okay." So the guy goes, he says, "You can invent the machine, but you're not that smart. You can sell the machine if you got enough charm, and then you can teach others how to use the machine." And then I just stood there in silence, and I'm waiting for the guy to give me something, and he goes, "Well, that's it." Like, what? I'm like, what? So he goes, "Yeah, that's it. So you can invent the machine if you're like Elon Musk or whatever, but you're not that smart. You can sell the machine, which then you have a cap on how much you can sell because of just how much time you got and how much, maybe if you put in some systems, but that's a different story. And then you can teach others how to use the machine, or you can teach others how to sell them, or you can do anything teaching others how to do anything with the machine." And we talked about that last night, and that's when he said, "Well, this guy must be in the Illuminati or whatever, because I haven't heard this ever." And I'm in that business, like I'm in the business of teaching people how to do business. And I said, "Well, you're you're in the business owner that you're working with. Um, he's a fascinating guy, let's put it that way. But he doesn't know what SGM knows because we call you SGM." And I go, "Well, he doesn't know what SGM knows, and that's just how that works, buddy." So we were just dumbfounded yesterday with some of the stuff because I noticed some of the stuff I learned from you. It just comes to surface in the most crazy moments, and that was actually a fun conversation and
So the
everything.
so
And
the
then he
bigger
tells me,
question.
"Well, you know
Go
about the
ahead.
guy Russell Branson?" I go,
Yeah.
"Yeah." No, I was just going to finish off the thought with how better that actually is, the latter example with teaching others. And he tells me, "Well, you know about this guy Russell Branson?" I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "The guy created 2,600 millionaires from his funnel teaching." And I go, "Well, the value, we know that you become rich if you provide value to valuable people. Well, if you take into consideration example Sean told me, and you take this guy Russell, right? What is the aggregate value? And he goes, what do you mean? I go, well, the guy created those millionaires is Alex Hormozy, which we are both in the Hormozy spiral. All right. So I go, how many millionaires did those 2,600 millionaires get? So the aggregate value of this one guy called Russell is billions and billions and billions of dollars because of the total value created furthermore down the line by his value. And then we were like, whoa. So yeah, thank you for that moment.
Well, and
How about that, huh? Kids are grown.
I love it. A couple of things you said that's important, because here's the thing. Everybody listening to this live or to the recording is not in your hallway. And so therefore they're going to say, oh man, I wish I was in his hallway. That's the first challenge that the brain has. Oh my gosh, comparitis. What's important to hear, what AJ was saying, is that bits of information that he learned, whether it's from me or from somebody else, nuggets of information rose to the surface when it's needed, when it was valuable, when you were in the right frame of mind, that those things that's already stored in your greatness. Because the 3-hour conversation that you had with Andrew, there wasn't a preliminary conversation with me, even though we've tried for 2 days. My failure on 2 days of reconnecting because of not getting the messages on my phone soon enough. So the point is that the information was there to have a moving forward conversation. I say this to say, when anybody has a conversation with anybody about your business model, whether it be network marketing, whether it be sales training, whether it be whatever it is, if you're going to assist somebody in having more, they already have information that's going to surface. The challenge is if they've not been working on themselves, if they've not been putting in the effort and putting in the work, the information that's going to rise is not what's going to move them forward. It's going to keep them in their present identity, not stuck, their present identity. The only reason we ever say I'm stuck is if you are trying to move. How many of you have ever been spinning wheels in a car? I remember snow, where you're actually trying to rock the car while you're sitting in the seat. I don't know that my 200 plus pounds is going to move a 3,000, 4,000 pound car trying to get unstuck out of the snow. But it's what we want. We think any little bit helps. I say that to say, where you are right now, you are going to hear information. You're going to hear information. You're going to remember information, and then you're going to take action. The question you must ask yourself is the action I'm about to take using old tools, old techniques, old systems, because it's comfortable and I know how to use them? Or am I going to step into a new way of looking at things, right? Wallace D. Wattles, change the way it's not about doing certain things, doing things in a certain way. Are you willing to do things in a way you've never done them before so you could have success you've never had before? And it's all in your body to begin with. None of your delay is in your brain. It's not. Your brain has no reason to delay you. Your body does. I don't understand that. If you ever get a knot in your stomach when you're about to go publicly speak, if your hands ever get sweaty when you're going to go do a presentation, if you have a conversation, if the majority of your presentations that you're going to go do, you get a less than 70, 80% conversion, you have created a pattern that your body only understands that pattern, which is why you keep having the opportunity to say, well, that didn't work. What would need to change in your life to say that worked amazingly? And I promise you, it's not you. It's them. It's getting their permission to leave the hallway. That would change everything. Because it doesn't matter how smart you are, how much money you make. I can share with you in the last 4 years of living here in small town America, nobody knows my background. I had a conversation with somebody the other day. I don't know who it was. And they said, "What do you do?" Oh, it was with somebody yesterday. It was a little 10-minute conversation. He goes, "I've never had a conversation with anybody like, what do you do? What?" And when they asked that, I said, "Why? Well, what's got you intrigued by what I do?" It didn't, me saying 6-time best-selling author, international speaker trainer, stood on stage in 30 countries, translated in over 40 languages, blah, 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 blah. That was going to be an answer that wasn't going to solve his intrigue. Are people asking you what you do? Or are they assuming they already know what you do and they don't even want to get close to you? That's a Wayne Dyer, change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. It's a Wallace D. Wattles, change. It's not about doing certain things. It's not about doing your life. It's about doing your life in a certain way that people say, "What do you do?" I want what you do. When people looked at AJ's and Andrew's videos, they go, "That's good stuff." That triggered in them the feeling that, wow, I wasn't offended. I wasn't upset. I could move forward. This is good stuff. I may not want to do it, but it's good stuff. So the question that I would offer you, to every one of you, is, how do you know if you're doing well? Well, you may giggle about this, but I ask 2 questions at the end of every conversation. What's one thing you learned and one thing you liked? If you are not asking those 2 questions when you get done with an interaction with somebody, how are you ever going to get better? Because you'll be surprised at what they learned, and you'll be amazed at what they like. When you find out the answers to just those 2 questions, you have to ask yourself, is that the business model you're in? Are you in the business model of giving people what they want to learn and what they'd like to have more of? That's the business you're in. And when they give you their answers, you have to ask, is that my business model? If it's not, then you might want to refine, tweak, upgrade, update your conversation so it's better, so that you get closer to the things that they're going to have on next Tuesday when they join you in business, of the things they learned and the things they like. There's really a science behind the simplicity of the language. Einstein said, make everything as simple as possible, not simpler. I can complicate the living bejeebies out of anything. It's the way my brain works. It's when I decided to keep it simple, right? Keep it simple, silly, keep it simple, stupid. KISS, KISS, that my life went completely in a cataclysmic rise of success because it was easy. Sales is not hard. Sales, as Zig Ziglar says, is a transference of enthusiasm. And if your sales suck, you got no enthusiasm. You definitely have none in yours, and you are really crappy at inspiring the enthusiasm, inviting the enthusiasm, awakening the enthusiasm in them. Joseph McClendon III said it the best. If you're not getting, if people aren't saying, I want some of that, they're not saying that. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know. I'm curious as to why you would go have a conversation that at the end of it, somebody's going to say, I don't want any of that. How's that working for you? So congratulations, AJ, and let me know what time you would like to meet after this call.
Yep, got an appointment at 9:30 Central. That's your time.
Excellent.
And then let's say 11 onwards your time. I'm good.
Okay.
And
So,
also, by the way, I've been really thinking about this. Just want to say thank you for being a part of my life, and I really need to be earning millions and billions to make sure you're you know, invest in your healthcare plan because really need you for a long time over here. And teaching me the game and teaching me how to do all of these things and teaching me the processes uh, that I can use by myself when you're not around in terms of I can't be, on speed dial with you 24/7. I mean, you got a life. So sometimes I want to take things into my own hands, obviously. Not saying I know it all. I'm still learning every day, but overall, I think I'm in a far greater mental space because of you and because of the work we do. So I just want to
well,
say thanks.
you are welcome. And this is personal undevelopment. The reason that you were able to have the conversations and pull up, there's only 3 ways to create income. we, I, I haven't said those to you in a year. I know I haven't said those because I thought, oh, that's right. Those are the 3 ways. Yes. Well, we listen. I don't remember even how long ago I said it. My point is that in order for that to rise to the surface, all of the things that you thought were ways to make money had to be disassembled, had to be chipped away. You can still see the rubble of ways to create income on the ground. Those 3 fundamental things causes somebody who's a pretty smart fella to go, wow, he's got to be part of the Illuminati. Well, isn't his son called Mason? Maybe he's part of the Masons. My point is that rose from inside you. There was no trigger from me other than a memory. So I would offer anybody who's listening to this, what are the memories you leave people with that they can use in their life for the rest of their life? If it's joining you in a network marketing business, that's probably not going to be a memory strong enough for them to say, I need you. I want to invest in your healthcare. So I offer you that. And so thank you for that. And the reason that I want to expand on that is because everybody that you're about to go talk to would love for you to be a version of that in their life. Nobody's looking for less. Nobody is looking for less. They wind up with less because they haven't given themselves permission to have more, which is why it's important to ask questions along the way. Are you ready for more? What does more look like? What is your clarify, qualify, create intention? Create expectation. So thank you for that. And thank you for being an amazing student that allows me to pour into you effortlessly the things that I'm good at, right? So there you go. It works both ways. Anyone else? Thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways, take with you.
Morning, Sean.
Good morning, Adrian.
Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday, young lady.
So I have an event next week,
Yes.
and I feel like I'm kind of in between what you were talking about. So it's going to be a 4-day conference. And I think like my personal stuff is getting in my head and it's like making me anxious when normally I get really excited about conferences and events and like connecting with people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's like the guards in my hallway and like my mind, right? Like trying to, I don't know. It just feels like it's psyching me out. And like the closer it gets, the more anxious I feel like instead of
Sure.
excited.
Yeah.
I need help. Tell it to go away.
Yeah. Well, no, yin and yang.
I want
Excitement.
more of the yang and
Right.
not the
So,
yin.
so then
Ying.
change the story about it. So here's the thing. Here's my perception. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a neurologist. I'm not a biologist. I'm a farm boy who's got practicality. So ask yourself this question. The anxiety that you're feeling, what would it take for that to simply be relabeled as excited energy?
Mm, I think feeling more confident.
Okay, so what you just said, pay attention to how your secret sauce is revealing itself.
I know the yin. It's the yin or the yang, whichever one is more. I don't know.
Hang on, it's they're you can't have good without evil. You can't have happy without sad. You
I need
can't
like
have
a 51-50 though.
well, it just depends upon where you're looking at it from. Sometimes the thing is the most important thing that seems so far away is directly behind us. Right? Suppose you're now standing in the center of the yin and yang versus in all the yang or all the yin. My point is this. The reason that anxiety shows up is because maybe you're at a threshold to where the information at this conference is going to stick, and you now have skills, talents, and ability and frequency and vibration to use it. And that scares the living bejeebies out of you because you're about to have the breakthrough.
I feel like I'm having a breakdown.
And every breakthrough is preceded by a what?
A breakdown.
So I would be doing cartwheels about this breakdown. I'm about to leave. See, the old story is showing up, going, this is going to be a stupid conference. I don't even know why you're going to do it. Don't you realize that you got to feed the worms? You got to feed the worms. Where are you going? You're going to go away the worms are going to die. And you're going like, what worms? It doesn't matter. It's going to come up with any kind of excuse to keep you stuck so that you don't see the thing you're supposed to see that's always been available. That because you've now been personally undeveloping, you're going to see it in a whole new way that nobody's going to know. Nobody's going to see it the way you see it. What would happen if the 4 days that this conference is designed for, what if every bit of it worked for you? What would change in your life?
Everything.
Give me one thing. This is why it's a struggle, because you haven't named the thing. So give me one thing that would change.
My mindset.
Excellent. Who would be mad about that? Don't say nobody. Everybody wants me to know. Who'd be disappointed that your mindset changed? Who'd be disappointed you don't get mad anymore? Who'd be disappointed that you don't get frustrated anymore? Who'd be disappointed that you answer everything effortlessly and it makes sense and people are taking action on it? Who would be disappointed with that?
So how was your day?
A couple of people.
So this is about going back to what we talked about this morning, getting permission to leave this hallway. Who do you need permission from?
Sean.
Here's the bigger question. When they say, why did you leave the hallway?
Because Sean said so.
Yeah. So do you have
He
a story?
said F that hallway.
Exactly. Do you have permission enough to tell the new story? You're either going to need permission from them or permission from yourself. Which do you think is going to be easier to get?
Myself.
Until they show up and you're like, well, I want to make them happy. I don't want them to be sad. I want to just give. I want you to be happy. So the way you get permission from the other people is by asking if it's okay if you grow. How's that work? Sounds like this. Hey, I'm about to go to a 4-day conference. Is it okay if I come back better? Like the $6 million man. You're not old enough to know that opening line, but we can build them stronger. We can build them faster. Is it okay if I come back stronger, faster, and more capable?
Or none of us had ever set foot in this apartment.
And what do you think they're going to say?
One of us did.
Yeah.
And then you ask them, why would it be okay? And you watch the smoke pour out of their ears.
Because they're lying.
Well, they're not lying. They haven't
They're lying.
been able to confirm their truth. Everybody has patterns. You know this. Can you tell which of your girls is walking down the hallway just by listening to their gait, just by listening to the way their feet hit the floor?
Yes.
Yes. Let alone talking to them about goal setting and goal achieving and goal arriving. You could say, I want you to change the way you walk. And they'll do it once, they'll do it twice, and then they'll be back in their pattern. Can you tell who it is? Well, let me ask you this. Do you have a driveway where you're at?
Yes.
Is it gravel or cement?
Cement.
Okay. Can you tell which car is pulling up? Can you tell who's at home because of the sound of the car?
It's only my car. But
Okay.
yes, I can understand the context.
Can you tell when somebody's closed your car door versus somebody else's car door?
Maybe.
Not maybe. You absolutely know.
Like,
you just
I
had
know
to
which child closes my doors.
well, that's even more important, isn't it? Can't you
And
tell
who's
whether
got
it's
an attitude?
the little one who's got to really shove hard on it or whatever, right? Or if the car is at a slant and they close it with the same energy, and because it's the ass end of it's back down, that the momentum causes I didn't mean to slam it that hard. What I'm saying is that you can tell which kid is closing a car door. Don't you think people you're about to go have a business conversation with can tell which kind of business they think it is based upon their experience versus their desire? We have all of these skills, all of these talents. And if you can tell which kid is walking down the hallway, don't you think the person you're about to go have a conversation with has heard somebody walk them down a hallway or walk down a hallway with a business model that hurt them in the past? How are they going to see you as any different than anything they have in their history? Because we haven't asked them for permission to leave the hallway. Isn't that fascinating?
I gotta leave my hallway and go to a new hallway.
Now, wouldn't your hallway, isn't leaving your hallway have a lot to do with helping others leave theirs?
Yeah.
So then, if you suck at leaving your hallway, how are you supposed to help them?
I talk to Sean. But
Yes. So the question is what have you done today? And here's the thing that most people, you don't need to leave your hallway by moving 3 states away. You want to know how you leave your hallway? Do something different. You're at work right now, yes or no?
no,
Okay, so
neither.
you're home. So
Mhm.
where are you at home?
The garage.
The garage. Are you standing up or sitting down?
Standing.
Okay, do a 360 for me.
Okay.
What did your body just say?
Do the 360.
Yeah, but what did it just say? Why did you do it? Now it's asking, what the hell was that?
Pay attention to what's around me.
So do you realize that in order for you to become more aware, subconsciously, unconsciously, consciously, just do 360s. And what you'll start to see, my dear, is you'll start to see things that are around you. You will start to notice your environment as you arrive in your environment. So you're in the garage. You've got to walk through a door. Do you face the door that you got to walk to? Don't move to it. Just face it.
Okay.
Do you know what's behind you without turning around?
Yes.
Do you know everything that's behind you without turning around?
Maybe.
Yes or no? Your Honor, I'd like to ask
No,
you.
not everything.
So my point is that if you turned around, though, could you notice everything?
Yes.
Now, my point is that aren't you going to have a conversation with somebody where you don't know anything that's behind them? You're only showing them what's in front of them. So if I were to
Yes.
talk to you about how wonderful it is to go into the house, and you're thinking about all of the things you went out into the garage for that are behind you, How easy is it for you to walk into the house knowing that everything that you really need to work on is behind you? You'll walk into the house just to get rid of me.
Maybe.
As soon as he leaves, I can get my ass back out in the garage and go fix all those things. Well, that's life in general. Everything behind you cannot be even adjusted. It is what it is. Which is the only reason why people talk about the things that have happened in their past. Everybody wants to tell me about where they've been. Well, you don't understand. Last Tuesday, I had this argument with somebody and they just keep doing this and they keep doing that. Really? How am I supposed to help you with that? Well, I don't know. I just wanted to give you a little feedback on me. Well, all that tells me is that your life sucks. Do you want me to help you keep your life sucking or make your life a little better? Make it a little better. I can't make anything. Do you want it better? The power of questions. So what I would offer you is do 360s. Just do 360s. That would be your homework for the next 30 days. Do 360s. Before you make a decision, do 360s. Before you respond to the girls, do 360s. And they'll be like, Mom, what are you doing? The reason that you want them to ask, what are you doing, is so that they hear the answer differently for the very first time. It's setting the stage for new. If you're not showing up new, how the heck am I supposed to do new if you're showing up old? All of this to go back to your event. You've been to the event. Your old story's going. How many times have you been to a 4-day event?
Probably like 6, 7 times now.
Yeah, and the same shit. Same results. So your body's going, really? Because you know, if you go this time, based upon what you've been doing, how you've been sharpening your own saw, Sean's got a little to do with it, but Sean has very little to do with it because you got to do your own work. The reason you talk to me and you don't follow a system I have is because I don't have a system. I do. I kind of sneak it in so the subconscious is like, oh, okay, we can do this. So now you're going to go to a 4-day event and everything's going to change. And you're scared to bejeebies. Your old story knows that this is the one that's going to change everything. This is the one that when they write your book, it's going to be like, it was the 7th event. Everything happened. You're going to be the inspiration for people going, listen, you can go to 6 more events and get it, or I can teach you what happened. I can teach you what I've learned in my 7th event so that your next one's the best one. You're going to become this amazing teacher. You have to become this amazing teacher, which scares the heck out of you because now people are going to have to listen to you. People are going to pay to listen to you. It's going to be called a monthly subscription. I talk to coaches all the time. The best way to become a world-class coach is to go start a network marketing business. And you get paid by a monthly subscription. Everybody wants to do a monthly school. Go start a network marketing company. Go get paid monthly. That'd be my suggestion. So you have the greatest opportunity. What happens if the things that you promised your girls, you over-deliver on them? The things you promised your hubby, you over-deliver on them because you went to this event. You know why it's going to be challenging? Because it's a math problem. 3 versus 1, right? It's 2 youngins and your hubby. Yes.
Just the girls.
Just the girls. Okay, so it's just the girls. Is the hubby involved? The daddy involved with the girls?
Oh no, we didn't have any children together.
Okay. So all of this to say, you have a lot of variables, a lot of stories. For those of you listening, you just heard a lot of input, a lot of preconceived experiences you have to deal with of personalities before you even left to go to the event. And the glue between all of them is you. And what if that glue changes? What if all of a sudden now you start to stand up for yourself without making anybody else have to sit down? You just stand up for yourself. You say enough is enough. And as you have more of your enough, you get to be more of enough for everybody else. What if you became more valuable to everybody in that whole story? Good thing, bad thing.
Good.
You really got me convinced, Your Honor. Good thing, bad thing.
I'm getting there. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a good thing.
Good. Do you see how hard it is to leave a hallway? You're standing in a garage and nobody's around. We're not going to the event. You're not learning all of this amazing information. You haven't done anything yet. Have you paid for the event? Yes. Have you bought your tickets for the event?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going. I'll be
I know
there.
I know you're going. Yet the one of you that's going is about 8 minutes old. Yes.
But she's so nice.
Which one? The one that's going?
Maybe. I
Well,
don't know yet. We're
the one-
working on it. We're working through it right now.
The point is that the one that's going can still be nice. It's just you're not going to be walked on. Listen, nobody knows the reason I'm so good to know the pain I've been through. The reason I can sit and have these conversations and lovingly, caringly drag you across the coals is not because I want to drag you across the coals. They're your coals, not mine. I would never drag you across my coals. I would never drag you across my gravel glass infested driveway. Why would I do that? The reason it seems like it hurts you is because you said, I want out, and I'm going, here's the rope. And you're choosing not to hold on to the rope. You're choosing to be drugged instead of lifted. That's okay. I used to want to lift everything. And so you know what happens? You know how we lift everybody out of their pain? We do it for them. And we're the ones that are broken. They got out and there was no price for them. There was no pain for them. The only reason people keep repeating what they're repeating is because there's no pain. They call it their comfort zone. Man, I wish I was the guy who got paid royalties on that phrase. You're in a pain zone that you don't
should
even
get
want
royalties on that one.
You don't even want to be in, and you know it, and still won't leave it. How freaking what a psyop is that? It's literally the personal development industry. Let me give you another shovel to dig yourself out of a hole. Nobody's teaching you how to put the dirt outside the hole. You just keep digging deeper and deeper and deeper. Here's a new shovel. Here's a new pick. Here's a faster way to do it. You know, the 2,600 millionaires that Russell Brunson has created is a great number versus how many millions have used his tool and never made a dollar. That'd be an interesting number to hear, but we won't hear that because I bet it's 80-20. 80% of the people who use that tool, 80% of anybody who uses any tool never gets out. It's just he had a marketing method that he's had a lot more people in the funnel. That 2,600 seems like a big number. It ain't 100% of the people who use this tool. You'd all agree with that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it 50%? So you're saying 50% win and 50% lose. Why would you ever sign up for that deal? But they tell you
part of the other 50.
Yeah, and so any one of us can be part of the other 50. We have to make a decision to become part of that 50, which means we got to do things in a certain way, which means we got to change the way we look at things. And that's where the system falls down. It fails to give you the understanding. It fails to tell you that you're stuck in a hallway, to have a bold conversation that says, you're in a hallway. Do you want out? It doesn't tell you that the guard at the door is not you. It's not your discipline. It's not your person. It's not your motivation. It's not your enthusiasm. The guard at the door was put there by somebody who has tremendous influence over you, and they're not guarding the door. They just want to keep you safe. And you can't out hustle that guard. You only have to step out of the circle that says, I'm ready. I'm going to go skin my knees. I can promise you, the first time I ever spoke on a stage, I threw up. I mean, almost on stage. But my body physically threw up. First time I spoke on stage in Italy or in Germany or in Serbia or in Croatia. They weren't my first time. They were the first time there. Similar kind of thing. When I spoke in China, when I spoke in China, I literally had a panic attack on the flight from Chicago to Hong Kong because I thought I was going to pass out. I never had a panic attack. If you're not experiencing stress at a cellular level, you got to ask yourself, are you really growing? Or are you busy dusting the furniture and the fixtures in your hallway and confusing activity with progress? I don't say many things different. It's only different because you are hearing it different. I'm the book you've read 1,000 times, and every time you read it, it's like, oh my God, I now know what you mean by that. How do you know that? Because the next time you're going to hear, oh, now I get what you mean by that. No. Your understanding of it is growing, and you are getting to see new things, and you're getting to hear new things that you've never heard before. Heather, are you on YouTube? Did you just send me a message? I just got a text from Heather. She usually watches YouTube. So I don't know. Anyways, so here's what I would offer you. And let's have a conversation. Let's have a one-on-one. You open to that?
Of course, Sean.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Wow. Can you hear the confidence in her voice?
I'm so excited.
Yes. Oh my God. Go ahead.
I'm gonna have all my tissues ready.
let the meetings begin. So let's have a conversation of how to make this the best 4 days of the rest of your life. You open to that?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Send me you have my cell phone, yes?
Yes.
Okay, send me a message a couple of windows when you can talk, and let's do that. And let's plan on about 90 minutes.
Okay.
Yes, Heather's a YouTuber. How cool is that?
Thank you, Sean.
You're welcome. What'd you learn? What'd you like?
Yep, I learned it, and I like it.
That's a great thing, because is where you got to go.
And the anxiety, the excitement, it's all over the place.
So what if all of that? So here's the thing. Do you ever hear the phrase they talk about the difference between non-public speakers and public speakers? Do you ever hear the little phrase that they say, we all get butterflies, but professional public speakers do what? Teach the butterflies how to fly in formation.
Oh, you're so fancy, Sean. I never heard that.
So we all get butterflies. When I do the A&MP, I've done it for 10 years. I still get butterflies. I get butterflies every time I meet somebody new or I get to tell a new story. There's times, because you're doing 60 people in 4 days and you're having conversations and you're talking about tomorrow and it's today and and all of these things, there's sometimes I'll forget somebody's name. I know exactly who they are. And I'm up there trying to introduce them. And so the introduction goes a little bit longer, and that kind of runs off of my mouth, and I'm trying to remember their name. And thank God sometimes, because sometimes the people backstage, the monitors up front where you can look at things, they're working on things. They're working on their slides. So their introduction isn't up. Their name isn't up. And I can't remember their name until all of a sudden it clicks. The last minute of the last second of the last moment of before I could introduce them and say, hey, listen, let's just welcome on. You know who I'm talking about, right? Because that's the backup.
Mm-hmm.
My point is that you have this new introduction that's about to happen in your life. You're having this new story at the end of these 4 days that you don't have the new identity for, the new title for. So your body's freaking out going, don't go because you don't have the new story yet. You've already got the story. Say, I already have the title.
I already have the title.
Excellent. Is it okay if you use it? Yeah.
It's okay if I use it.
Is it okay? That's a question.
It is okay.
No. Yes or no?
Yes.
We think that her answer, it's okay that I use it. That's not a yes or no. That's not a definitive in the neurological, biological system inside the brain. Yes, it's okay if I use it. Just saying yes forces your body to say, okay, we need to buck up.
Get it together.
Get it together. Here's the thing. Say, I already got it together.
I already got it together.
Because now you
That's
get
my
to
pep talk. I ain't no B.
you don't have to add any more. You already have it. And when we start from that state, you're going to see how fast and how rapidly. This is what Napoleon Hill talks about in the book. You've heard me all say this. If not, let me be the first to tell you what it says inside the beginning of the book. When success comes, and it will come to you in such a manner that you'll wonder, where was it all during all the lean times? I'm a 20-year overnight success, a 40-year overnight success, a 3-day overnight success. Pick your number. When the success happens, it doesn't happen because you did more. It happened because you finally undid something that let the dam flow. That's all, period. Thanks for being here. Send me some messages.
Oh, I will. Thank you, John.
Okay, love you tons. There you go,
I love
ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for having a great day. I'm your head
My
brain
signature at this point, Sean.
brain school. Listen, here's the thing. If you use that and have some fun with it, I promise you more people will fall in love with you because of that. And they'll want to be around you because they're like, oh my God, she gets it. You are so polished. You are so beautiful. You are so sexy. You are so everything that they're like, she can't want to like throw up every time she reads a book. Every time she journals, oh my God, I'm getting rid of my old self. Let me ask you this. We don't get sick because we've got good stuff in us. We get sick because we got bad stuff in us. And what happens every time we get sick? We want to get the bad stuff out. The challenge is we become so numb to our sickness of lack that when somebody says you can have more, we're like, oh.
And just keep it in.
Yeah,
swallowing the bit.
exactly.
That's gross.
Exactly.
Oh, the stress.
And here's the thing.
No,
If you got rid of
great.
it, you get rid of it, the stress goes away. It's like, now what do I do?
Find new stress.
Yeah, what? I wouldn't recommend that.
New reflex.
There you go. I'd suggest you have a way better day.
Oh, it's gonna be a great day.
It's gonna be. It can't be anything less.
True that. It's going to be under like 110 degrees today here. I love
know.
it.
Wow,
I can't wait.
how awesome is that?
I know. It was like 118 yesterday, Sean.
Oh my God.
I don't know how I made it to today.
That's an awesome thing.
It's awesome I made it to today. You are correct.
Yes. I love it. All right, my dear. Go have some fun. There you go, everybody. Let's have a conversation with the one who brought us here that can get us to the next level, because it's always inside of us. It's never outside of us. Outside of us are triggers, are things that make us think differently. The more we get to think about what we want, the more we'll come up with some pretty cool answers. I'm your head brain training. Let's think a little bit more and a little less misfit. I'll see y'all where?
The next event.
At the next event. Somebody give me some Costa Ricas.
Pura vida.
Pura vida. We love you, Mark. And some Lydias.
Peace be with us.
Peace be with us. Hey, Beamish. And the queen of helping you and have more of what you want, Jessie Lee Ford.
Bosley.
Bosley.
Bosley. We love you, girl. And a little white fluffy.
Gurgly, gurgly,
Gurgly,
gurgly.
gurgly.
All right, everybody, go have some fun today. Thanks for being part of the morning show. We'll see you all on the morrow. Till then, bye for now.
Love you, Sean. Thank you all.
Bye.